Mine's a talk about being a social experiment in sustainability. I run a sustainable living centre, and most people say, what's that? Well, mine's about the fact that I've literally changed my life to do something extraordinary, but actually I'm just self-employed and have a bloody good laugh at what I do. Hopefully this will move on quicker than I will. There's my past life. This was about 20 years ago. I decided I'd be a racing driver, and so I washed off a car that I was a car dealer selling second-hand cars, and the next day went racing. And unfortunately for me and for my mum, who said you can do anything if you set your mind to it, well, I did set my mind to it, and over the next 10 years I ended up being a proper works driver, testing and developing cars. And whilst it sounds very glamorous, actually it's very, very boring, and you go round and round in circles, and you're employed mostly by the oil industry, as you can see the very glamorous picture of me doing the Pennzoil advert. Having been employed by the oil industry, I'm more than aware about peak oil, and having been out in Germany a great deal of my career in motorsport, I saw wonderful things like this. This is actually in Freiburg, twinned with Guildford, a city which has got extraordinary green credentials. It's a solar capital, mostly of the entire Germany, and it's a real collaboration between manufacturing and industry. I thought this was really fascinating, so what I thought I'd do was stop my motorsport career in 2000, had a bit of a hit 30 and had a midlife crisis. I'd lived a very fast life, so it hit me early. This is me on my first day of my next job, pulling down a house, health and safety. Well, it doesn't take into consideration. I needed to do this because to me it doesn't make sense that we pull down houses and we don't value the materials. So this is me pulling down a house and stacking up those bricks, and I've done that all myself. I then went on to do 33 of these builds, 11 new builds and 22 retrofits. I've managed every project, and they don't all look like that, but actually they don't all start out like that either. So architects design them purely for design, but actually sustainability might be a buzzword, but it doesn't usually come into their sense when it comes to building, because no one can build these things sensibly. And I got a bit pissed off with this, because when you're handing the build to a client and the bill ends up 3 times the amount, and you end up with builders, despite me having a zero waste policy and doing all that effort myself, this is what my builders did when my back was turned. They got a skip on site and decided to fill it up. It was a game. So in other words, in 2009, when the middle of the credit crunch hit and everyone in the building industry was going crazy, I thought, sod you all, I'm going to rent a great big building in my own name, take a huge risk, because I actually believe people like myself have done this stuff and proved it is possible. Not just the eco-building stuff, but the change in your life kind of thing, because I genuinely live a low-carbon lifestyle now. It's taken me 10 years to do it, but the things I do at this centre, and I'm a social enterprise here, I am not funded. This business is not funded by anyone. This is literally funded by waste. This is waste. This is waste off building sites, and it's waste out of people's homes and garages. And I sell a third of this stuff. I use a third of it in my building, and I give a third of it away. And that enables me to do many things. But one of the things I do is free advice. So because I'm not funded, I can stay completely independent. We're a huge hub of experts. There's over 4,500 of us linked to this centre now, and we're growing rapidly. And all the advice we give is totally independent. We are not paid to recommend anyone. We do creative and fun things with waste, and the fun things that we do invariably involves getting together local people. I hate the word community, but basically anyone that we know and likes us, and have fun. We pull together all the waste, Blue Peter type of waste that we have there, and in the beginning it was just people's waste, small bits of toilet rolls and stuff like that, and now it's considerably larger amounts of waste. In fact, we've recently taken from the largest building site in London, that I'm not allowed to name, but we know it because next year there's big games going on there. Thanks to that waste coming off that big building site, I'm able to do things that actually are educating all kinds of people, including kids, and I teach kids at the same level as I teach adults and local builders. So this is kids learning about eco-building. And funny enough, it's my best marketing budget because I tell them about it and they tell their parents. So any problems with getting their teachers or their parents in, no problem at all, because funny enough, now I've got a junior board of 10 young people between 12 and 19 years old, not a single adult in my business apart from me, and I'm far from being an adult. These young people, I wrote to every single head teacher of every single school in Surrey and Hampshire and Sussex. Not one wrote back to me, not one was interested. But once the kids got involved and they had fun and thought this was sensible and they really ought to know this stuff and they see me making money, they decided that because I give them the opportunity to share their ideas about what we all should be doing in our businesses right now, funny enough, these kids, even if they don't know about it, come up with some good ideas. So when you're in my centre hiring it as a corporate and you see that year 8 know more about sustainability, but you might be a CSR or sustainability officer for a great big corporate, this is embarrassing. So I get kids to sign this board and their teachers are just as enthusiastic about it. Can one person make a difference? I ask all of them when they first come into my centre, can you do that? They go, nah. Well, when you're 15 and you're from a local school, a special school that looks after you and you've got complex disabilities, when you're 15 and you don't know you want work experience, but you actually aren't going to get it, it's quite good to have this waste on that very big building site in London for these kids to actually learn proper work experience skills. So we get 10 kids in at a time, do 2 weeks work experience, and they get to make and do things to do with our business. And they're using the waste. This is all waste. The books, everything that kid is using is waste. And this kid has serious autism. He actually can't communicate with anybody else. But he made some fantastic things for us. And all I say to you is collaborate, talk to people, share. Reuse waste, use it as a resource, value it, and look to nature for solutions, because I don't notice in nature us all worrying about what accreditation we have. Thank you.